Imagine a workshop in the heart of Renaissance Italy, filled with the scent of wet stone and the rhythmic sound of a hammer hitting a chisel. An artist is working on a masterpiece commissioned by one of the most powerful men in the country. When the patron arrives to inspect the progress, he doesn't marvel at the skill or the detail. Instead, he points a finger and says the nose is too thick, that it ruins the grace of the entire figure. The artist knows the patron is wrong. He has spent months studying the anatomy, the shadows, and the perspective. He knows that once the statue is placed on its high pedestal, the nose will look perfect to anyone standing below. The artist has two choices. He can explain the science of perspective, he can show his sketches, and he can try to educate the patron on why the work is already correct. Or he can do what he actually did. He picked up his tools, climbed the scaffolding, and secretively scooped up a handful of marble dust from the floor. He tapped his chisel lightly against the nose, changing absolutely nothing, but letting the marble dust fall onto the patron's face. When he climbed down, he asked for the patron's opinion. The man looked at the statue, felt the dust on his own clothes, and declared that the nose was now perfect. By refusing to explain, the artist saved his dignity and his commission. He understood a dark secret that Niccolò Machiavelli would later write about: the absolute power of silence and the danger of justification. This secret is something that most of us have forgotten in the modern world. We live in an era of total transparency. We feel an immense pressure to justify every move we make, every career change, every relationship choice, and even every minor mistake. We believe that if we can just find the right words, people will finally understand us. We think that explanation leads to connection. But in the world of power and respect, explanation is a leak in your reservoir of authority. Machiavelli was a man who looked at the world as it was, not as people wished it to be. He observed that when you explain yourself, you are essentially asking for permission to be right. You are standing before another person and saying, "Please validate my reasons." The moment you do this, you have shifted the power dynamic. You have made them the judge and yourself the defendant. Even if they agree with you, the respect they have for you has diminished, because you showed them that their opinion matters more to you than your own conviction. Think about how this plays out in your daily life. When you are 5 minutes late for a meeting, your instinct is to tell a story about the traffic or the alarm clock. You think you are being polite, but what you are actually doing is showing everyone that you are managed by your circumstances. You are showing them that you are a victim of the world. If you simply walk in, apologize for the delay, and immediately begin the work, you maintain your status. You signal that the work is more important than the excuse. By not explaining, you maintain a sense of mystery and strength. People stop looking at your excuses and start looking at your results. The dark secret is that people don't actually care about your reasons. When someone is upset with you or questions your choice, they are reacting to a feeling. Your logic cannot fix their feeling. In fact, providing a logical explanation often feels like an attack to the other person. It feels like you are trying to prove them wrong. This is why the more you explain, the more people tend to argue with you. You are giving them a target. If you say you did something because you were tired, they can argue that you should have slept more. If you say you made a decision because you were busy, they can argue that your priorities are wrong. Every detail you provide is a new hook they can use to pull you down. When you remain silent or offer only a simple statement of fact, there is nothing for the other person to grab onto. You have closed the door to the argument. This is especially true in your personal ambitions. If you decide to start a new business or change your life, people will naturally be skeptical. They will ask you why. If you spend hours trying to convince them with data and passion, you are essentially begging them to believe in you. But if you simply act and let the results follow, they have no choice but to respect the outcome. Machiavelli knew that the masses are always taken by appearances and by the outcome of an event. They don't care about the struggle or the why, they care about the is. There is a profound psychological weight to the person who does not explain. It creates a vacuum. Human beings are naturally uncomfortable with silence and mystery. When you don't provide a reason for your actions, people will automatically begin to project their own ideas onto you. Because we are wired to respect power, people will often assume your reasons are deeper and more complex than they actually are. They will assume you have a secret plan or a level of confidence that they simply don't possess. Silence radiates a quiet, steady strength. It suggests that you are so comfortable with your path that you don't need a single person to agree with you. In our current society, we are encouraged to speak our truth and be authentic. But being authentic does not mean being an open book for everyone to criticize. True authenticity is having an internal compass that is so strong you don't need to check it against the opinions of others. When you explain your choices to your parents, your friends, or strangers on the internet, you are telling them that their perception of you is the reality you live in. You are handing them the keys to your self-esteem. Machiavelli's philosophy is often called dark because it acknowledges that the world can be a competitive and judgmental place. He knew that if you want to lead, or even just to be left alone to do your best work, you must protect your boundaries. Every time you offer a needless explanation, you are leaving the front gate of your fortress wide open. You are inviting people to come in and rearrange your furniture. You are allowing them to influence your mental state. Choosing not to explain yourself is a form of supreme self-discipline. It requires you to be okay with being misunderstood. It requires you to be okay with someone thinking you are wrong or even thinking you are arrogant. But the truth is, the people who truly matter, the people who are high status and high achieving themselves, rarely ask for explanations. They recognize the same quality in you. They see your silence not as rudeness, but as a sign of self-possession. They trust you more because they see that you are not easily swayed by the winds of public opinion. Think about the figures in history or even in modern culture who command the most respect. Do they spend their time in the comments sections of their lives, correcting every person who gets them wrong? No. They continue to move forward. They understand that their time is their most valuable asset, and spending it on justifications is a waste of life. If the work is good, it doesn't need an explanation. If the work is bad, no amount of explaining will save it. The next time you feel that familiar itch to justify yourself, to explain why you didn't call, why you bought that car, why you quit that job, or why you made that mistake, just stop. Let the silence hang there. It will be uncomfortable at first. You will feel a desperate need to fill the gap. But if you can hold that silence, you will feel a shift in the power. You will see the other person start to look at you differently. They will realize that you are not a person who can be managed or manipulated through social pressure. Beyond the social dynamics, there is a practical element to this rule. When you stop explaining, you save massive amounts of mental energy. Imagine how much time you spend every day rehearsing conversations in your head, trying to find the perfect way to explain your actions so that no one gets offended. This internal dialogue is a parasite. It eats away at your focus and your creativity. By committing to a life of no explanations, you kill that parasite. You reclaim your mind for things that actually matter. You begin to operate with a level of clarity that most people will never know. When you explain, you also reveal your hand. In any negotiation, whether it's for a salary or for where to go to dinner, the person who talks the most is usually the one who loses. By explaining your reasons, you are giving the other person data they can use to negotiate against you. If you tell a car salesman that you like a car because it has a high safety rating, he now knows exactly how to manipulate you by emphasizing safety over price. But if you simply state that you like the car and wait for his offer, you keep the leverage. Silence is a shield, and an explanation is a hole in that shield. Furthermore, the act of explaining is often an act of apology for your own existence. It says, "I am sorry for being who I am and doing what I do. Let me tell you why it's okay." But you do not need to apologize for your existence. You do not need to apologize for your success, your failures, or your unique way of seeing the world. Machiavelli's dark secret is actually a path to ultimate freedom. It is the freedom from the need for external validation. It is the freedom to be the sole judge of your own character. In the end, your life is a story that you are writing. Most people allow others to hold the pen, letting them edit and cross out parts based on their own comfort levels. When you stop explaining, you take the pen back. You realize that the only person who needs to understand the plot is you. The world will watch the play regardless. Some will love it, some will hate it, and some will completely misunderstand it. Let them. Your job is not to be a commentator on your own life. Your job is to be the protagonist. Stand in your truth. Act with conviction. Let the chips fall where they may. When someone asks you why, remember that "because I chose to" is a complete sentence. It is the most powerful sentence in the human language because it requires no further justification. It is the mark of a person who has mastered themselves. And as Machiavelli knew, the person who masters themselves is the only one who can truly master their destiny. Stop explaining. Start living. The results will be the only testimony you ever need to provide.